For mastery of ISTE Standard 2D to coach teachers in model design and implementation of technology-enhanced learning experiences, I created a website through Blackboard that would have been designed for a pre-AP class, reading To Kill a Mockingbird. This material for this class was taken through a district, pre-approved district curriculum. I didn't have a whole lot of say on what the content would be. However, I did have some flexibility in how I would implement that content. And one of the things I asked students to do in this, and I used a variety of learning strategies, was to address higher order critical thinking skills, is to keep an online journal using a blog post style of dialectical journals. I gave the students pretty flexible due dates and a pacing guide, so it would help the students develop basically self-regulation in the sense that they would have to keep track of these due dates and they would have to respond. Much of this was modeled off of the activities that we would do in a traditional, I guess one of the online classes that we did through Blackboard, asking the students to respond and to keep an ongoing journal on a website so that other kids could reflect on the assignments and to participate in this. Some of the other strategies that were used in this class is asking students to read material and to annotate using the Kami Chrome extension, which would allow them to save the materials as they annotate them and upload them as a PDF. And then they would link that on their blog that they were keeping. So it was a way to keep an ongoing assignment and keep track of the work as they were going. Another assignment that we did is completing a character postmortem. And what this does, and I gave the students a template so they could address it. They would have to either use this template or create a large-scale model of breaking down one of the characters. So this again asked them to be a little more creative with the assignment, to break down the character visually. So this gets to that learner saying, okay, we're going to analyze this character. How are we going to break this down instead of just doing a regular graphic organizer? This time we're putting it as a body and connecting it. This is the character itself. We're making a connection between the character and different actions. You know, the legs represent actions. The feet, you know, you stand on your feet. These are your character's beliefs. We have a left arm explaining how the character's beginning of the story, and the right arm is how they've changed by the end. So we're associating the body with how a character interacts. And eventually the students are asked to do a more traditional essay. But as part of this, the characterization, I'm asked them to do a screencast. Now, when I initially gave this assignment, Shockwave was still supported, and I assigned the students to use Jing. Well, since Shockwave is no longer supported, if I were to implement this assignment again, I would have the students use something like Screencast-O-Matic to record their information. And as far as discussions go, within this format, the students were asked to respond to each other and share the links to their blogs and have a discussion. Now, again, given how technology has changed since I've done this class, now I might ask the students to make a Flipgrid response instead of having a written discussion. Just a different way to help students think through the activities. And again, these are different assessment strategies, you know, formative assessments with the discussions and the blog posts, and then more summative assessments, looking with the traditional essay, or even having the character postmortem be a summative assessment. And this targets different learning strategies for the students. And these are types of activities that I have continued to use. And depending on how technology changes, I have adapted the technology to meet current technology activities that are available. Instead of doing the template for the character postmortem, I could have them use ThingLink instead and have them find a picture of a character that they think looks like the one in the book. So there are lots of different technologies that have changed that in the year or so since I took this class initially that I would add into the assignments for the students so they could have different ways of demonstrating their knowledge.